At 3:17 a.m., my lamp turned on by itself. I didn't touch the switch. I didn't clap. There was no power surge. It just turned on. At first, I thought I was dreaming. That hazy, half-awake state where your brain fills in gaps that aren't real. I stared at the ceiling, blinking slowly, waiting for the light to disappear. It didn't. Instead, the clock on my nightstand clicked. Not ticked. Clicked. I turned my head toward it. 3:17 a.m. The red numbers glowed brighter than usual, like they were being powered by something other than electricity. Then the lamp flicked off. Silence. My heart was already pounding, but I told myself the same lie everyone tells themselves at moments like this. Old wiring. Power glitch. Go back to sleep. I rolled onto my side and closed my eyes. That's when the lamp turned on again. This time, it stayed on. And the clock clicked again. 3:18 a.m. I sat up. My bedroom looked normal. Same posters, same messy desk, same pile of clothes in the corner. But something felt staged. Like the room was pretending to be itself. I reached for my phone. No signal. No Wi-Fi. The time on my phone refused to update, stuck at 3:16 a.m., like it was afraid to move forward. Then my phone vibrated. A notification appeared. Unknown sender. You noticed. Good. My stomach dropped. I typed back immediately. Who is this? The typing bubbles appeared instantly. You have exactly 1 hour. Before I could respond, the lamp turned off again. Darkness swallowed the room. The clock clicked. 3:19 a.m. The lamp turned back on. My breathing was shallow now. Fast. I swung my legs out of bed and stood up, every instinct screaming at me to leave the room. I reached for the door. It wouldn't open. The handle turned, but the door didn't budge, like something heavy was pressed against it from the other side. My phone vibrated again. Rule 1. Don't try to leave. How do you know what I'm doing? I whispered. The lamp flickered. Once. Twice. 3 times. Then the clock clicked again. 3:20 a.m. That's when I noticed something new. There was a second lamp in my room. On my desk. I didn't own a desk lamp. It was small, black, and already plugged in. The bulb glowed faintly, like it was breathing. My phone vibrated. Rule 2. When the lamp turns on, look at the clock. No, I said out loud. This isn't happening. The desk lamp suddenly turned bright white. Blinding. I squeezed my eyes shut. The clock clicked. 3:21 a.m. When I opened my eyes, the numbers on the clock weren't numbers anymore. They were words. You are behind. I staggered backward, knocking into my bed. My phone buzzed again. Most people don't notice the clock until it's too late. You noticed early. What happens in an hour? I typed with shaking hands. The response took longer this time. Long enough for the lamp to flicker nervously. Finally. At 4:17 a.m., the house stops pretending. The desk lamp suddenly rotated on its own. It wasn't pointing at the desk anymore. It was pointing at me. And then, from somewhere inside the walls, I heard a sound I will never forget. A slow, deliberate ticking. Not from the clock. From everywhere. The clock clicked again. 3:22 a.m. And a third lamp turned on. The third lamp stood in the corner of my room. I was certain it hadn't been there before. It was taller than the others, old-fashioned, with a cracked glass shade that gave off a warm, golden glow. Unlike the other lamps, it didn't flicker. It didn't hum. It was steady, calm, almost comforting. The ticking in the walls slowed. My phone vibrated. Unknown sender. The lamps represent those who are watching. Watching for what? Before I could type the question, the clock changed again. 3:23 a.m. The words dissolved and reformed. Are you ready? I don't understand, I whispered. Ready for what? The golden lamp brightened slightly, as if responding to my voice. My phone buzzed again. There was a story once, the message read. 10 lamps, 10 watchers. Only some were ready when the time came. My chest tightened. I knew that story. Even if you didn't grow up religious, it lingered in the back of culture, like a memory you couldn't place. The wise and the foolish. The oil and the fire. The door that closes. The ticking grew louder again. I looked at the lamps. The first lamp, the one on my nightstand, flickered weakly now, dimmer than before. The second, the desk lamp, pulsed erratically, like it was struggling to stay on. But the third lamp? It burned steady, unmoved. The clock clicked. 3:24 a.m. A new message appeared. The light is offered to all. But not all want it. That's not true, I said. People want hope. They want saving. The response came instantly. They want comfort. They want time. They want control. The golden lamp cast long shadows across my walls. And in those shadows, I began to see shapes. Crowds, faces, people turning away from a figure standing in light. I felt a pressure in my chest, like grief that wasn't mine. My phone vibrated again. He came once. Many rejected him. The clock clicked. 3:25 a.m. The walls of my room shimmered, and suddenly I wasn't seeing my bedroom anymore. I was seeing the world. Cities glowing at night. Homes filled with noise and distraction. People laughing, scrolling, arguing, building, planning, living like time was endless. The message continued. Some say they want him. But not yet. I swallowed hard. Not yet, I repeated. The lamp beside my bed flickered violently and went out. Dark. The desk lamp dimmed. The golden lamp remained. My phone buzzed. They say, let me live first. Let me enjoy this world. Let him wait. The ticking grew louder. Faster. The clock clicked again. 3:26 a.m. New words appeared on the clock. The door is open. My heart pounded. Is this about the second coming? I asked softly. The golden lamp flared brighter, filling the room with warmth instead of fear. The response came slower this time, heavier. Yes. I felt tears sting my eyes, though I didn't know why. But people are praying for him to come, I said. They talk about it all the time. The reply was long. Too long. Finally, the phone buzzed. They pray for his kingdom, but cling to theirs. The ticking stopped. Complete silence. The clock clicked. 3:27 a.m. The words changed again. Many sleep. That's when I heard voices. Faint at first. Overlapping. Whispering excuses. Not yet. Someday. I'm a good person. I don't need saving. I don't want him to change me. Each whisper caused another light to go out somewhere in the vision around me. The world grew dimmer. The golden lamp stayed lit. My phone vibrated one more time. Salvation is offered freely, but love does not force the door. I fell to my knees. Then why show me this? I asked. Why wake me up? The answer appeared slowly, one word at a time. Because you noticed the clock. The ticking resumed, louder than ever. The clock clicked again. 3:28 a.m. And the words on the clock made my breath catch in my throat. The hour draws near. The golden lamp began to dim, not failing, but waiting, like it was asking a question. My phone buzzed one last time. When the final minute comes, even those who believe may say, wait. The clock clicked. 3:29 a.m. And the door behind me creaked open on its own. The door opened only a few inches. That was enough. Light spilled through the crack. Not the harsh white of the lamps, but something deeper, older, alive. It didn't push into the room. It waited. The ticking stopped again. I stood slowly, my legs weak, and took a step toward the door. The golden lamp behind me dimmed further, as if warning me. My phone vibrated. Many see the door. Few walk through. I peered through the opening. On the other side wasn't a hallway. It was a road. Narrow. Worn. Leading forward into a distance I couldn't see. People stood along it. Some close to the door, some far away, some sitting down as if they had stopped trying to move at all. And then I noticed something that chilled me. Many of them were looking at the door, but not entering. Why aren't they going in? I asked. The response came immediately. They are waiting. For what? The clock clicked. 3:30 a.m. The words changed. Waiting can be rejection. The road beyond the door shimmered, and scenes began to form. I saw people praying, but their prayers were hesitant. Later, Lord. After I fix my life. When I'm ready. When the world calms down. I saw others who believed. At least they said they did. They talked about Jesus, posted verses, argued theology. But when the door opened, they stepped back, afraid, unwilling. The golden lamp flickered. My phone buzzed again. Some fear his return. That didn't make sense to me. Why would anyone fear him coming back? I whispered. The answer hurt. Because his return ends their control. The road showed new images. People holding tightly to careers, relationships, secret sins, comforts they didn't want exposed to the light. They weren't running from Jesus. They were asking him to wait outside. The clock clicked. 3:31 a.m. The lamp on my desk went out completely. Dark. Only the golden lamp remained, faint now, like a candle in a storm. My phone vibrated. They say they love him, but they love the world more. I felt something break inside me. Isn't salvation for everyone? I asked. Didn't he die for all? The light beyond the door pulsed gently. Yes. The response came slower, heavier. The door is wide enough for all, but not all will enter. The ticking returned. Faster now. Urgent. The clock clicked again. 3:32 a.m. New words appeared. The bridegroom waits. I understood then. This wasn't about fear. It was about love. Jesus wasn't forcing his way in. He was standing at the door, knocking, waiting for hearts willing to open. The road beyond the door trembled, and I saw something new. A feast. A table prepared. Light, joy, laughter. Life the way it was meant to be. But behind me, in the room, the shadows thickened. The world was growing louder. Distractions buzzing. Voices shouting. Music blaring. Anything to drown out the ticking. My phone vibrated again. When he comes, there will be no more time to decide. I turned back to the clock. The numbers were moving faster now. 3:33 a.m. 3:34 a.m. 3:35 a.m. My heart raced. What happens at 4:17? I asked. The golden lamp flared suddenly, brighter than it had been all night. The answer appeared, not on my phone, but on the clock itself. Mercy meets justice. The ticking grew deafening. The door creaked wider. The light beyond intensified. But behind me, I heard footsteps. People entering the room. Laughing. Unbothered. Ignoring the lamps. Stepping over the darkness like it wasn't real. Don't you hear it? I shouted. The time. They shook their heads. Smiled. One of them said something that made my blood run cold. We don't want him to come yet. The clock clicked. 3:36 a.m. And suddenly, the golden lamp began to go out. Not because it failed, but because the hour was approaching. My phone buzzed one final time in the darkness. When the light goes out, only what was already inside the heart remains. The clock clicked again. 3:37 a.m. And the door started to close. The door began to close slowly. Not slammed. Not forced. Slow enough for anyone to stop it. No one did. The people behind me kept talking, scrolling, laughing. Some stepping closer to the door only to turn away at the last second. The ticking grew louder with every inch the door moved. I rushed forward and pressed my hand against it. It was warm. Alive. Wait, I said. Not to the door, but to the people. Please. Don't you see what's happening? They looked at me like I was the strange one. One of them smiled gently and said something that echoed through the room. We believe in him. Just not like this. The clock clicked. 3:38 a.m. The golden lamp flickered violently. My phone vibrated one last time. Belief without surrender is still refusal. The words struck deeper than fear. I realized then, this wasn't about knowledge. It wasn't about religion. It was about the heart. The door creaked again, narrower now. The light beyond it softened, like a sunset disappearing behind the horizon. I fell to my knees. Jesus, I whispered. Not as a title. Not as a concept. As a name. The ticking stopped. Everything froze. The clock numbers blurred, then steadied. 3:39 a.m. The golden lamp stopped flickering. It grew brighter than it ever had before. The room went quiet. And in that silence, I felt it. Not condemnation, not anger. Patience. Deep, aching patience. The phone buzzed again, though I didn't remember holding it. He is not slow, as some think of slowness. He is patient, not wanting any to perish. The words weren't accusing. They were grieving. I looked around the room. Some people had stopped moving. They were listening now. Others covered their ears. Some left the room entirely. The door was almost closed. I pressed my forehead to the floor. I'm ready, I said. I don't want you to wait outside anymore. The golden lamp flared. The clock clicked. 3:40 a.m. The door stopped moving. Just for a moment. The phone vibrated again. Whoever comes, I will never turn away. The light pushed back into the room. Not blinding. Inviting. I stood and turned to the others. "This is it," I said. "Not someday. Not later." Some stepped forward. Some hesitated. Some turned away in anger. The ticking resumed. Faster now, relentless. The clock numbers raced. 3:41 a.m. 3:42 a.m. 3:43 a.m. The lamps around the room began to go out one by one. Not randomly. Intentionally. Each darkness marked a choice already made. The golden lamp remained. Barely. My heart felt like it might burst. What happens when it hits 4:17? I asked. The answer appeared on the clock, glowing brighter than any time before. "The king returns." Gasps filled the room. Fear, hope, regret, joy, all at once. The door trembled. The light beyond it intensified, spilling into every crack, every shadow, exposing everything it touched. The golden lamp dimmed to a single flame. The clock clicked. 3:44 a.m. And suddenly, the people who had been saying, "Not yet," started begging. "Wait. I'm ready now." I didn't mean it. But the door did not respond to panic, only to surrender. I turned back toward the light. "Jesus," I said again. "I'm yours." The flame steadied. The door opened. Just enough. The clock clicked again. 3:45 a.m. And the words appeared for the last time. "Choose while there is time." The clock began counting down by seconds now. The golden lamp was almost gone. And the door started moving again. Toward 4:17 a.m. The clock was no longer just counting. It weighed on every thought, every heartbeat, every breath. It pulsed, like it had a mind of its own, like it knew something I didn't. 3:46. 3:47. 3:48. I looked around the room, but the walls weren't walls anymore. They had thinned, faded, revealing the world beyond. Streets, homes, offices, hospitals, all moving, oblivious. Life going on, unaware that time itself was listening. I saw a man laughing with friends. "If Jesus comes tonight, I hope it's not me." A woman stared at the ceiling, whispering, "Tomorrow. I'll pray tomorrow." A child scrolled their phone in a church pew, eyes glazed. A preacher's voice filled the hall, but only half the congregation listened. The golden lamp flickered, barely alive. Its glow fought against shadows creeping closer, threatening to swallow the room. Then I felt it, a presence. Not looming, not heavy, not demanding. Patient, watching, waiting, loving. I realized something terrifying. Jesus wasn't rushing. We were. The clock continued. 3:52. 3:53. 3:54. 3:55. Voices rose behind me. Some desperate, some pleading. "This isn't fair. We didn't know. Please, give us more time." The truth burned into my chest. They did know. They always knew. They just didn't want it yet. The presence beside me spoke. Not aloud, but in a certainty that pierced the soul. Every warning was mercy. Every delay was love. The golden lamp pulsed, a heartbeat of light. Shadows flickered and danced, testing the warmth of the room, testing me, testing every choice that had been made. 3:57. 3:58. 3:59. 4:00. The world outside froze. Cars stopped mid-intersection. Birds hovered mid-flight. Conversations paused mid-word. Not because anyone noticed, because heaven did. A vibration from my phone. A message. One final warning. I am not late. I am faithful. Tears blurred my vision. I whispered, "For those who rejected you." And the reply came with unshakable certainty. I waited for them longest. The door in the room trembled. Slowly, at first. Then faster. Not closing. It was responding to the clock. To the countdown. To mercy and judgment intertwined. 4:01. 4:02. 4:03. 4:04. The golden lamp shrank to a pinpoint of light. Shadows surged toward the edges of the room. The people outside, the world outside, clawed at the door. Some screaming his name, others cursing the world, some collapsing in despair, finally understanding that time delayed is time lost. I felt no fear. Only awe. Grief. Hope. The presence beside me became undeniable. Authority wrapped in love. Not suggestion. Not threat. Promise. The clock thundered louder. Every tick like the heartbeat of eternity. 4:05. 4:06. 4:07. The room shook violently. The door began to seal. The golden lamp flickered one last time. Darkness stretched its fingers, slow and deliberate. People's voices cracked, some screaming, some weeping, some silent in disbelief. I realized it wasn't just the door closing. It was choices being sealed, one heartbeat at a time. 4:08. 4:09. 4:10. The golden lamp's warmth faded. Shadows and light fought a final, desperate battle. Then the light beyond the door flared, pure, eternal, unyielding. I understood without words. Behold, I am coming. Time did not stop. It folded. Eternity pressed forward, and the door began its slow, final close. 4:11. 4:12. 4:13. 4:14. The room shook again. Every sound, every vibration, every heartbeat, amplified. The door sealed slowly, but the glow beyond remained untouchable. People outside reached for it. Some screamed. Some fell. Some whispered prayers they had long neglected. I looked at my hands. I felt my chest. My heartbeat synced with the golden lamp, with the ticking clock, with eternity itself. 4:15. 4:16. The room was emptying of fear now. Only awe remained. Only grief. Only hope. The door trembled one final time. The golden lamp shrank completely. Darkness fell. Shadows faded. Silence. Then the final number. 4:17 a.m. Time became eternal. And from the light beyond, something stepped forward. Not loud. Not violent. But full of authority, full of love. I understood. Every mercy. Every delay. Every heartbeat mattered. The room was quiet, the golden lamp gone, but the presence remained. I woke gasping. Sunlight streamed through the window. Birds chirped. Life went on. I woke gasping. Sunlight streamed through the window. Birds chirped. Cars honked. Life went on. The clock read 7:03 a.m. Normal. Too normal. I sat up, heart pounding, body shaking. My room looked exactly the same, but something was different. The golden lamp was gone. Only a faint circle of warmth remained on the floor, like a footprint of mercy. I reached for my phone. It worked. Notifications, messages, noise, life. Everything seemed ordinary, but the silence of before still rang inside me, heavier than any noise outside. I looked at the clock again. For a fraction of a second, words flickered across the screen. This was mercy. Gone. Vanished. And yet, the meaning lingered. I pressed my hand to my chest. My heartbeat echoed louder than the world outside. Then I saw them. Shadows. Not dark or evil. Just people I knew, walking through life, oblivious to the clock that had stopped, the door that had almost closed. A man laughed into his phone. Yeah, maybe one day I'll go back to church. Maybe one day. The most dangerous words in eternity. I felt a sudden pull in my chest, as if the air itself was urging me forward. And then I realized, if you are still breathing, the door is still open. Jesus hasn't returned yet because love waits. Not because judgment is weak. Not because he doesn't see. But because mercy is strong. Every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of awareness is an invitation. I whispered, trembling, "Come, Lord Jesus." A warmth spread through me. Not from outside, not from light. Inside. A personal knowing. I turned back and looked at the people around me. Or maybe it was the world beyond my room. "This is your choice," I said, my voice shaking. "Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now." Some looked up, eyes wide, hope glimmering. Some shook their heads, clinging to comfort, fear, pride. Some wept quietly, finally ready to answer. The ticking resumed. Not a clock anymore. My heartbeat. And the door. It was still there, waiting. Not closed. Not locked. Not gone. Even now. Even for you. I walked to the window, peering at the world in the early morning. I saw millions of lives spinning in routine, in distraction, in denial. Some were scrolling, some laughing, some arguing. And I whispered again, "Jesus, come. I'm ready." A soft glow touched my chest. The light didn't just exist outside. It existed in me, reaching through the world, brushing against hearts that were still willing to listen. And then I understood. Not everyone will answer. Some will close the door themselves. Some will say, "Not yet," one too many times. But every second I have, every breath I take, is a chance to choose. The world continued, oblivious. But in that moment, I knew something powerful. The story isn't over. The clock is still ticking. The light is always here. The invitation is always open. I walked through my room slowly, noticing the faint warmth of the lamp's memory on the floor. Every object, every shadow, every corner seemed alive. And I realized, the story doesn't end when the door closes. It continues in the hearts willing to open it. I turned back toward the world outside my window. A man argued on the street. A woman scrolled on her phone. A child stared at a screen, oblivious. And I whispered again, louder this time, as if it could reach all of them. "Come. Now is the time. The door is still open. I'm ready. Will you be?" The room dimmed slightly, but not fully dark. The fading warmth reminded me, mercy never abandons you. Love never stops knocking. Time is still your choice. Then a new sound entered. A faint, distant ticking, but not the clock in my room. It wasn't mechanical. It was like the heartbeat of the world. With every tick, I felt urgency. With every tick, I felt hope. With every tick, I realized the choice was personal, yet universal. I fell to my knees. Tears streamed down my face. Not of fear, but awe. Jesus, come. I choose you. I am ready. The door didn't appear physically before me, but in my heart, it was wide open. And in that moment, I knew, deep in my bones, why I had woken up. Not to scare, not to pressure, but to remind. You are not here by accident. You are still breathing. The invitation is yours. The door remains open. I looked back at the clock one last time. 7:17 a.m. No flickering words. No glowing lamp. Just time and choice. I whispered for the final time. Come, Lord Jesus. I am ready. Let the world hear your mercy. And the softest, warmest light seemed to fill my chest, my room, and the world beyond, leaving a lingering truth. The story continues, wherever hearts are willing to open the door.